Yeah. Morning vibes. Hold on. Let me get my shades on. Hold on. Yes, sir. Now I'm complete. Yeah. Uh, yeah. Cut the joint. What's up? What's up? Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Yeah. So figured I stop uh live streaming the morning after and I'll just drop it to y'all, man. I mean, look, comments and all that matter. Most everybody watch me on a replay. That's why I do it that way. Okay. So if you listen about podcasts, then you're cool because I'm just dropping the audio, but most of the time I'm on YouTube and people watch me and on the replay because I have an audience that is not lazy. Actually, a lot of my people work and they have jobs and they move around and they're just not on there every day. And plus, I'm just not the most popular person on X on the internet anyhow. That's just how it is. But it is what it is. Look, I ain't mad at nobody. Drop a bomb for everybody up there. Yo, Dalvin Truth, bruh, you were supposed to come through, bruh. You were supposed to come through. Not only are you supposed to be there to try to hold people accountable and bash, bro, but you're supposed to be there, bro, to support, come through. You know what I'm saying? Check the show out and jump up in the conversation. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna come up on the panel too. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna come up on the panel. I'm gonna let everybody get at me, but yo, you supposed to be here at the show to check it out and watch. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if he was or not, but shout out to you if you was, bro. I appreciate it. You know what I mean? Um, this internet thing is fun, man. I think it's fun. I really understand it a lot more now. I had some behind the scenes talks. I'm not gonna put nobody's name out there, but I got some actual game from some people, from some stars, and from some social media accounts, and a lot of people's reached out on the behalf of this thing. And look, I'm surprised. I'm happy about it. Yo, I am super excited and I'm happy about this in the way that things is going for me and turning out. You know what I'm saying? Not no other than that. So I think I'm about to redrop the Dion DJ Galat junior interview. I'm gonna redrop that again because I don't think it got as much traction as it should have. That's original content. He was definitely nice enough to come through and bless, sports with Truckin Chubbzy. So I gotta get out of him. I'm gonna drop that again, man, because that was a dope interview, man. For those who don't know, Bowie State legend. Listen, man, the guy, DMV area guy, he's definitely a legend in the DMV area. Bowie State Bulldog legend. He actually went to the pros. He worked out with the Baltimore Ravens, Lamar Jackson, and those guys over there. Then he ended up in Washington. He should have been on somebody's NFL roster, 6'3", 225. He got all of the athleticness, you know what I mean? Skill wise, ball placement, they could have worked with him. There's a lot worse in the NFL, in my opinion, and they definitely could have worked with DJ Galat Jr. They definitely could have worked with him without a doubt. His real name is Dion Galat Jr. Excuse me, Dion. They call him DJ, but it's Dion Galat Jr. And they definitely could have worked with him. They definitely could have got him on a roster. And see, the thing is with me, when you get these guys who have to grind and come from nowhere, such as a Jalen Warren. I got to meet Jalen Warren yesterday, by the way. Jalen Warren is a cool dude, man. You hear me? He's a cool dude. Um, it was easy to talk to him, very easy. Even though he's on, in the National Football League, killing ish every Sunday. And I thought that he ran the ball well. Y'all heard me talk about him. I've been on the show talking about, how gracious he is and everything. But just for instance, that's their mind state of how he works. He came into the Steelers as an undrafted rookie free agent, spent time at JUCO and football. These guys who, come from JUCO and go back up to P5 and make the NFL, they're hungrier than any other player that has been privileged to go from the power, from high school, ranked a 4 or 5 star, go to a Georgia, Alabama, and they work. And look, their attitude is different. You gotta work when you go to schools like that. But when you go to a Power 5 school, most of the time their senior years, there's some of these freshmen are stars, especially nowadays with social media. Some of these guys are stars when they step foot on campus. You know what I'm saying? And you get them invited to parties and doing things that they shouldn't do. Now, one thing I learned from Jalen Warren was that, you know, JUCO woke him up early. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's perfect. I don't know his personal life or anything like that. He's just a good dude, but he wound up in JUCO. So somewhere along the line, it was either grades or something else. Okay. And his experience of going through the JUCO, same thing with DJ Galat, right? He goes to Bowie State, not been drafted in the NFL, the work and the progress that he's going through, the league that he has to play in now, the things that Jalen Warren had to go through, the work ethic that he has, the appreciation that he had for, going back up to, the NFL level, being picked up. The work ethic that they have will never be, you can't match that work ethic because they know what it's like to be in football purgatory. You know what I mean? They know what it is. So their hunger, their grind, their tenacity is so much different than any other players on that field. So wow, and I'm not talking about Najee Harris or any way, because I love Najee. I think Najee Harris and Jalen Warren are a mean 1-2 punch. I do think that Najee should come up with some kind of sweet deal, because I mean, look, he first came in, he was wrecking shit, right? He got hurt somewhere along the line, missed a step. Jalen came in and replaced that without a doubt. Now, when you have somebody behind you like that, and they work together, he spoke highly of Najee Harris. I must say that. I must say that. And for Jalen Warren spoke highly of Najee Harris. You know what I'm saying? And that just goes to show you the Pittsburgh Steelers culture. He spoke highly of his, i- his co-part out, because one can't go without the other. They are a complement. They are peanut butter and jelly in the backfield for the Pittsburgh Steelers. You cannot have one without the other, right? You got to have both of them together, man. For real. It is what it is. But back to the grind ethic. The grind and everything that he stands for is just different. He's just like, at the same time, he's so blessed to be in the position he is, but he's so humble, so much relatable to, regular guys like ourselves, because he know what it's like to be one of us. He does. And he appreciates the NFL and where he's at, but he's also smart enough to understand the business and where he is at in the NFL too. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. Like, so he's there to work. He is there to work. And I'm excited that I got to meet him in person, and I got to actually chop it up with him and talk to him as one on one. You know what I'm saying? And it was no questions about, I didn't ask no personal questions. We just talk like, just men. And I won't put the conversation out here because it's not meant for that. You know what I mean? Even though, you call me sports, whatever you want to call me, it's not meant for that. It's how I develop relationships, and I'll continue to have a relationship with a Jalen Warren. Just know that the Pittsburgh Steelers are, in fact, going to put the pressure on a lot of teams, and there's no backing down. We're ready to take on the NFL this year. There's no backing down. The goal is to go all the way this year. The goal is to go all the way. The mindset of the Pittsburgh Steelers is to go all the way. There is nothing else. They think like, the way that they're thinking right now is just to go all the way. So I said 10-7, 11-6 being safe, so that my expectations don't get hurt. You know what I mean? So me as a fan, I'm not really, going to be pouting or mad that they don't make it to a higher level. But when it's all said and done, they can eclipse that easily. They have the team. They have the team. I've been, there's been things I've read. Now, this is what I've read about, you know, Darnell Washington stepping up to the plate and fire moves, playing harder. Now Firemouth has to play harder because he sees Darnell Washington picked up that offense. Arthur Smith's offense immediately. We know he's a better blocker than Firemouth. People love Firemouth. He's very popular in Pittsburgh, but we know Darnell Washington is a better blocker. Now, when it comes to the hands, to be honest with y'all, Darnell Washington hasn't had himself to prove, with long catches, but Firemouth is, I would say, the better receiving tight end. But don't forget that our 13 personnel is nice because of Connor Hayward. Let me drop a bomb on that. Our 13 personnel is nice. And I mean, and granted, 13 personnel in the NFL has been mixed up a lot of times. Sometimes they put the two tight ends right there, and then they put a bigger receiver type of guy. And we do have one. But if we just wanted to go three tight ends, like I said, 13 personnel, like Connor Hayward, Darnell Washington, and Firemouth. Those are weapons. Those are all weapons. And Connor, I believe Connor is doubling as the fullback tight end guy, filling the fullback position on the depth chart. And you got Firemouth and Darnell Washington both at tight end 1 and 2, or 1A, 1B. I would say they're more or less 1A, 1B. Van Jefferson, I'm hearing, has had an amazing camp at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Amazing. Not only that, but then you got NFL young boy, aka Pickens, George Pickens. His attitude that people said, and they gave him problems last year. Like, we have to give athletes more room to speak out and to, just to hold their teammates accountable. There was a problem with Kenny Pickett. Now, people thought that George Pickens was a little hard. Now, no, he wasn't harsh. Because you seen an attitude with Pickett. He didn't want to compete. He didn't want to stay when Russell Wilson came in. He didn't want to play backup, but he has no problem with playing backup for Jalen Hurts. Now, I always said it was just something about him that I didn't like as a Pittsburgh Steeler. I've always said that. I've always said that it wasn't Kenny Pickett as the person I don't like. I don't like him as a quarterback for our team. Well, do I think that he can fit somewhere else in the NFL? I've always said yes. But him as a Pittsburgh Steeler, no, I didn't like it. It was just something to me, watching that team since I was a young kid, and how things changed, and I know things, and then this a new day, a new age, a new time, and everything. But it's just like I don't know. And there's still questions to me about whether or not if Russell Wilson even fits the mold for a Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback. To be honest, to me, that's just me, to my opinion. For me being a fan, there's still questions to me. Does he fit the mold for Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback? Big Ben has spoiled us. I know things. Big Ben had things off the field and everything else, and that has to be addressed at one point in time. I don't know. Look, the first time when you hear something like that, you're like, okay. The second time, you're like, I don't know. Third time, you're like, oh yeah, something happened. The fourth time you hear it, you're like, oh yeah, what's going on here? What's going on, Ben Roethlisberger? What's going on? But nonetheless, anyhow, his toughness at quarterback is undeniable. His quarterback. Now we're talking about him on the field. Him being on the field, toughness on the field, motorcycle accident, coming in, performing. First year in the NFL, taking us all the way to the AFC Championship. No rookie has probably ever done that yet, still, right? Second year in the NFL, wins a Super Bowl. Most sack quarterback. We didn't even have to have the perfect offensive line. Throwing guys off of them, breaking tackles, extending plays. We've been, and I'm not saying that our quarterback has to be that, right? It's a new day, a new time. Now you have to be able to elude the pressure, right? We got that guy back there. Trust me, y'all. We got that guy. And who's that guy? That guy is no other than Justin Fields. We have him. He's on the roster. Now, will we play him? Because if we play him a certain amount of snaps, we have to pay him, right? Or will we go with Russell Wilson? Well, Russell Wilson, if he does exactly what he does in Denver, which wasn't that bad, might I add, we're still winning a playoff game or two. If he does what he did in Denver, that's not that bad, y'all. When y'all get to looking at his Denver stats, it's not that bad, right? I mean, honestly. We must address that. We must say that it's not that bad. I mean, you look at it, whatever, however you want to look at it, whatever you want to say, it wasn't that bad, right? Sean Payton let a quarterback walk out of the room. That could have been, possibly good, but he got. Look, I'm no quarterback expert, right? But the NFL is something that I know a lot better than college football. Now, college football I know, but I know the NFL a lot better, right? And paying attention, and I've said, and you can go back and look at the archives. Many people don't like going back through archives and checking out lives, but I've talked about quarterbacks and what quarterback would I prefer in Pittsburgh before if we couldn't get Justin Fields, and I didn't think it was possible to get Justin Fields, but we got him. Talked about Sam Howell from the Commanders, and people say, well, why would you say him? He's like, what? Somehow 21 touchdowns, 21 interceptions last year. I mean, really, a lot of that was trying to play hero ball, make something out of nothing. He knows that. It just wasn't smart football. The frustration being sacked, offensive line wasn't up to par, and he just made a lot of throws that he shouldn't try to make, right? You're just trying to make something out of nothing. But there was also a lot of flashes of a great quarterback in the NFL out of Sam Howell, right? And I thought that somebody, and not to say that I think we got a bad rep of developing quarterbacks in Pittsburgh. That's going to change. That's going to change because Big Ben was there. We don't get credit for quarterbacks. We're always looked at for defense, what our defense does, running the ball. It's just the Pittsburgh Steelers way. And that's just the way a lot of people look at it in the public, right? But we did have good quarterbacks. I mean, when we won Super Bowls, look who we won Super Bowls with. Terry Bradshaw. Say what you want about him, good quarterback. Ben Roethlisberger. Say what you want about him, good quarterback, right? Like, so that's what I'm saying. Like, we get a rep for that, right? They don't develop quarterbacks. What? Who says that? Who says that? Like, but have we had luck with them? Not, I don't know. But we ride our quarterbacks out. We don't switch up on them. We don't, we give them a chance. Anyhow, back to that. We just been spoiled. And that's just the bottom line. And I was talking about Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson. I talked about. People say Zach Wilson from the Jets. I didn't think Zach Wilson was bad. I looked past the bad things that I saw in Zach Wilson and looked at the positive things for Zach Wilson. That's what I did with Zach Wilson. Because at this point, I'm like, somebody, anybody, come save us at quarterback because he ain't it. Look, Kenny Pickett ain't it. And I'm like, somebody come save. So I'm looking around. I'm like, Zach Wilson. Remember, we lost to the Jets. Say what y'all want. We lost to them. He took care of the ball enough against a Pittsburgh Steelers defense for the Jets to pull it off. Now, and the Jets their defense is, you would say their defense was worse than what it is now. Their defense is probably better now. Well, at least on paper, it's better now than what it was when they beat us, right? So say what you want. Right? The kid, like, you know what I mean? Look at his athletic ability. That and I look at that because why? Because you gotta have some kind of athletic. To me, in my opinion, this is just me. I'm not a professional. Look, this is just me looking at the game and how the game has evolved. You have to have some kind of athletic ability to play quarterback nowadays. These defensive linemen and these big guys in the trenches are getting bigger, faster, and stronger year by year by year. The vigor of the training they go through is going up year by year by year. They're trying to outdo every year. They're outdoing each other, and the training is getting better because you're getting all-time greats like a Aaron Donald training defensive lineman. Even guys who may not have had the best success at a NFL career, but they're great trainers, great coaches. They are training these guys to be better than what they were, what to expect at the professional level. So these guys are coming in. When you got guys and I say this, and everybody says this, that's why you might as well put a motorcycle helmet on these football players nowadays. Just get a DOT, Department of Transportation register type of helmet, put them on a field because it should be expected by the Department of Transportation, because you getting these guys that's 6'6", 6'6", 250 plus, running 4.6s, 4.5s. That is a car. That's a vehicle. The impact of that is, yes, you're getting hit by a vehicle. I don't care what you're talking about. It's the equivalent of getting hit by a Honda Accord going 20 miles an hour, something like that. You know me, 15 miles an hour. That yo, that listen to me. I'm just saying these guys are that strong. And I mean, yes, that could have been some kind of joke, but yes, go ahead and put a motorcycle helmet on them. They'll be safe. They can roll with it. It has a visor. Just pull it down. I mean, that's what these newer helmets starting to look like anyway. To be honest, they starting to look like motorcycle helmets. Am I lying? So what would be the difference? It'd probably be a little bit more comfortable, a little bit more mobility with it. I'm just saying, it could be done. It could be done. I think it'll look dope. You know what I'm saying? Motorcycle helmet, flip your visor up. I don't know. I'm just saying. Could be done. It just can be. And moving on to the, to talk about our team. Our offense is, for once in a long time, going to be respected in the NFL. We got our quarterbacks. Our running backs is looking great. Tight ends is looking great. Our offensive line, good. The question marks there. Will these rookies stand up? Will these rookies perform on the offensive line? Will they come in and add depth? Will they be ready to take someone's spot if need be, and to fill in and then not miss a step? We don't know that yet. We just don't know that yet. And not the question mark of the offensive line is why I gave the 10-7, 11-6 again from last year. And that's what they said last year. But this year, I really mean that. And that's because of the offensive line. It's questionable to me. Will they show up this year or will they not? Will they be banged up? Will they be healthy? The offensive line is key to the Pittsburgh Steelers' success. We know what our defense is going to put up. We got some depth there on the defensive line part. We like I said, cornerbacks. A lot of people raved at cornerbacks. I thought that maybe we can get away with getting a linebacker, but I thought the cornerbacks did the best they could, being young. But look, we got cornerbacks. We got those. We got those, and we got experience back there. So I'm not too much concerned about that. The trenches and the defensive line, I'm not worried about our defensive line. They will continue on doing what they're doing. I'm just worried about locking down Cam Hayward, give him a bag. He deserve it. I'm a little bit concerned about that. The cohesiveness, is that going to affect anything on the defensive line? Like I said, the only question mark is our offensive line. That's it. That's it. If they can give us what they gave us last year or better, yes, we are going places, Steelers fans. And that's it for my Steelers take right now. You know what I'm saying? Went in 25 minutes about them and meeting everybody. It was super dope, man. Super dope. Hey, but we about to get up into I'm gonna do a little bit of tweeting. We're gonna go through the Twitter thing and we're gonna troll a little bit. We're gonna go through Twitter